I think during the pregnancy, I just remember just being like a crying machine, and that's kind of not my shtick at all. So it was not only really exhausting, it was bloody annoying. I cried at Deal or No Deal.
One of my university male friends noticed I wasn't drinking, and he said, "Oh, you're pregnant." Well, obviously at that point you're not telling people, and I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant. And he's like, "I've known you since we were 18, your boobs are bigger." I was like, okay, move swiftly on.
But I decided to do a test. I was actually on my own in a shopping centre toilet when I first found out for definite.
I was shouting actually, and like, oh, I'm expecting.
As soon as I was late with my period, I did a test and kind of took it downstairs, handed it over to my husband, and in unison we both went, "Oh shit."
He was like, "Oh, well, I don't really believe it," and I said, "Well, why don't you pee on a stick as well?" So he peed on the stick and it was negative. So my result was real.
The first thing he did, which was really funny, he went and got his life insurance sorted. So I was like, okay, that's great.
I was expecting Aisha, my eldest one. He came up, "I'm going to the Bryan Adams concert and I'm going out with my friends." I was
Excuse me, I came up to ask your permission.
Give me a break, no.
About 8 weeks on, I collapsed on a train, woke up in a hospital, and was like, "Oh, I thought this was just morning sickness." And they said, "No, this is hyperemesis."
It would have been okay if it was just the mornings. It's kind of more accurate to be kind of 24-hour, 7 days a week sickness is what it should be called.
But then one morning you just wake up and you don't feel sick anymore, and then you want to eat all the food in the world.
I've had 2 children. One was 9 pounds 2, the other 8'6". So I was quite big throughout. You just kind of feel fat like an elephant.
I noticed physical changes like almost straight away. I put on a stone in the first month.
I looked at one point slightly like a whale who'd kind of swam through a capsized cargo of charity clothes.
I think sometimes the information that they give you is overwhelming, and too much information can be bad.
People gave me horrible horror stories, you know. They would just scare me.
The first time I was pregnant, the overwhelming advice was like, you know, sleep while you can, which is such rubbish advice.
Like it was like some kind of thing you could stock up on. You know, like, well, I'll just sleep for 9 months and then I won't have to sleep again till they're 16.
People touch my tummy all the time. And this lady just came up, reached over to me and started touching me up.
But, you know, being quite heavily pregnant, you know, stealth and, you know, kind of agility, they're not on your side.
When someone actually came up to me and asked if they could, and I was really surprised, because I was like, "Oh, you've actually asked me if you can touch me."
The final weeks of pregnancy really suck.
Yeah, so the final weeks we'd go out shopping and get the last minute bits and pieces, and I had to like stop halfway just walking to a shop.
I think he thought my womb was a gym. He's like, "Do you know what? I'm just going to get in 20 lengths before daybreak."
Later on, it's just really your belly that's growing, but what's going on internally, you know, you're growing a new person, but which is quite hard work, but it doesn't look like it from the outside.
When you're just so heavy that you almost feel like you're going to have a heart attack going upstairs, no one ever told me that, so it was a bit worrying on your heart.
I had to, you know, literally kick him and like, "Get up, I'm having my pains, come on, get up." And you're like, "Oh, let me sleep. I'll wake up when it's time."